Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. The game at the Amex is just about to get underway. Our referee, Chris Kavanagh, just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. We are now underway here. Two sides very evenly matched, next-door neighbours in the league, both on 17 points, both with 17 goals scored. Brighton just 2 goals, conceded just 2 goals less than Brentford. They sees them just above the Bees at kick-off. We'll see how this one goes, because Brighton have been a little bit hit and miss this season, whereas Brentford haven't really done too much away from home, barring that win away at West Ham. They have struggled on the road this season under Keith Andrews, so we'll see how they get on today. But it's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Eirik Stangnes taking you through the action. Eirik, home side, you would say they're the favourites?
They're probably, looking on paper, probably arguably the favourite, but it's slender favourites because, as you said, they are neck and neck in the table. Both teams have, I think, decent seasons. I think maybe Brighton would have hoped to be a bit higher up, but with Brentford, with a change of manager, like such a great manager, Thomas Frank, you never really knew what to get.
No, absolutely, and certainly the first couple of games under Keith Andrews, it didn't look particularly good, but since then they have discovered a bit of form, particularly at home. Brentford have rediscovered that form at home, which made them such a difficult team to beat under Thomas Frank. It's whether or not they can take that on the road, and they just lose the ball in midfield here, do the visitors. Half a chance here now for Brighton to go on the attack, and it's good work here with Ruter, but that's good covering as well from Szczerbakowicz, who then comes back and deflects that ball off Ruter for a throw to Brentford down the left hand side. Brentford in their change, sort of, I'm not really sure what colour it is, because it's sort of like a faded sort of greyish brown kit, I suppose, if that makes sense. And Brighton is always in their blue and white.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this Brentford kit. It's sort of brownish, I'd say. But yeah, so it's
going to have a slightly different shade as well, because just to tell you, it's absolutely tipping it down at the Amex this afternoon. Very heavy rainfall on the south coast, so that may have an impact on how the ball and indeed the pitch behaves this afternoon. But Brentford now win the ball here in midfield, and it's quickly played out by Vandenberg towards the right hand side. Coyote checks his run and then gets brought down. The referee thought about it for a second before deciding that was a foul on the Brentford right back. So I'll just remind you of the two 11s very quickly. For Brighton, it is Bruggen in goal. Then it's a back four of Max Wefer, Jan-Paul van Hecke, Olivier Buscagli and Ferdi Kaidoglu. The two holding midfielders are Carlos Baliba and Yassine Ayari. The three ahead of them are Yakuba Minte, Jorginho Ruter and Diego Gomez, with Danny Welbeck as the front man for Brentford. Koeman Kelleher in goal, and a back four of Michael Coyote, Nathan Collins, Sepp Vandenberg and Christopher Ayer. Two holding midfielders are Yeko Yarmoliuk and Jordan Henderson. The three ahead of them, Dango Otara, Mikkel Damsgaard and Kevin Schade, with Igor Thiago as the lone frontman. And it's Henderson standing over this free kick. See how we can deliver this one. It's Brighton who've set up just at the edge of their penalty area with the offside. It's aimed at Collins. Collins then nods that ball into the 6-yard box. It's cleared to the edge of the area before Yarmoliuk decides to go for goal and gets that very wrong and very wide.
Yeah, it's a decent free kick from Henderson to the right, headed into the danger zone, and the rebound after the header out from Brighton at Yarmoliuk, it didn't really get over the ball, and it's very difficult. More like he tried to put it back into where he came from. Decent goalkeeping from for Bruggen to get the ball there from the header in, but decent start from Brentford so far, and only 3 minutes, a bit early to analyse too much.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just that one free kick, wasn't it, from the foul on Coyote, the ball in from Henderson, but now a long clearance. It does almost get through to Igor Thiago. He was well marshalled though by Buscagli. Bit of a fight here from Brentford. They win it back in midfield, and charging into the box all the way to the line was Yarmoliuk there following that ball, but in the end Verbruggen comes out and makes a save. This is one of 5 Premier League games right now on our service. Bournemouth, West Ham, Fulham, Sunderland, Liverpool against Nottingham Forest, and Wolves against Crystal Palace. Those other games are also available on our service. In the earlier game it finished Burnley 0, Chelsea 2, and still to come at 5:30 this evening it's Newcastle United against Manchester City. But it's Brentford back in possession, 4 minutes on the clock. It's certainly the away side that are seeing more of the ball early on. Just a case of whether they can use it, as now Damsgaard flicks that onto Coyote. He then finds Igor Thiago and quickly switches play out towards the left here for Kevin Schade, who is brought down by Max Wefer. The German right back stroke winger isn't happy, but it's a free kick to Brentford.
It's a free kick to Brentford, and it's really good energy from Brentford early on. They're on the front foot. I think maybe Brighton taken a bit by surprise. Decent turn by Schade, and it's a soft free kick, but it is a free kick. He's just clipped his ankles there, Wefer, and there's another chance for getting the ball into the box for the away side.
Yeah, absolutely. When I said Wefer was German, I meant he was Dutch. So you might have heard Deutsch, but I meant Dutch. So apologies for that. But glossing over that, it's a free kick now to Brentford, and this time it's Damsgaard rather than Henderson. It's nodded down inside the 6-yard box and headed forward by Dango Otara. It may still drop here to Collins, but in the end it's quickly cleared. Olivier Boscagli gets underneath that and clears it long. Coyote was the last man back for Brentford. He took a real risk there. He could have played it back towards Kelleher, but he decides to just nod it away from Welbeck, and it pays off for him because he carries on his run all the way into the Brighton half before he runs into Carlos Baliba. And now Brighton have a chance to move forward here down the right hand side with Yassine Ayari. Runs straight in towards Damsgaard, who's then also been challenged there by Rutter, but it goes out for a throw to Brentford anyway. Yeah,
Brentford, brilliant energy for Brentford, although quite dangerous play. Coyote was left one-on-one at the back there, but the signing from, was it Hellas Verona or Fiorentina played for Coyote. I've sort of watched him quite a bit at Fiorentina, and it seems to have been a good signing that for Brentford.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was already a good right back then when he discovered that his special skill was the long throw. Well, that made it almost a done deal then for Brentford. But that's something left over from Thomas Frank. They just don't leave many players back for set pieces, Brentford. But say it looks good when they can use them in attack, but then if they get caught in defence, just to say that though, Brighton with a lovely bit of link-up play there in midfield, and then a quick ball down the right-hand side for Rutter to chase. It's the first time we've seen any kind of link-up play from Brighton at all. A quick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 passes, one-touch passes. Then the ball out to Rutter, just a bit too quick.
Yeah, it's overhit, and it was he just jogged towards the ball. I think he saw straight away it could never reach that one. Yeah, it's nice little bit of interplay in the middle. If the ball is a bit less weight on the ball, then it's a good ball, and it's a good position for Rutter. It's really grown into this Brighton side now after the transfer from Leeds. So probably one of the players first on the team sheet.
He is, although he's a different player to the one we remember at Leeds. He was more of a goal scorer at Leeds, wasn't he? Whereas here he's more of a sort of a number 10. But it's a strong challenge there from Kevin Schade. Brighton wanted a free kick. The referee gave an advantage. I should point out as well that Brighton don't have their manager on the touchline today. Fabian Hürzeler is serving a touchline ban. But he actually said in an interview before the game that he thinks that going forward, more managers are going to be sat on the up in the stands anyway, not because of a punishment, but just because you get a different perspective of the pitch.
Well, we're seeing it over the lots of managers. First half, you see it up from the gods, so you actually can see every move. It's easier.
Allardyce used to do that.
Yeah, a number of managers still do it. So it's but then. Second half, you want to be on the touchline because then that's when you win or lose the game. So, yeah, it's I'm not sure if it's allowed, but now Brentford going forward.
Yeah, they do. Brighton caught in possession in midfield, and it's Damsgaard charging through the middle. Brentford won a free kick because they feel as though Kevin Schade was brought down even before Damsgaard lost the ball. The referee was busy watching Damsgaard. He then falls and loses the ball. He wasn't fouled as far as Chris Kavanagh was concerned, and he wasn't interested in the appeals from Schade either. Here come Brighton now with a quick ball out towards Minte. Lovely work to get away from Ayer. Breaks into the penalty area now. He wants it back on his left, but no, he tees it up for Wefer to go for goal, and that one is aimed at the near post. Quick, smart save there from goalkeeper Kelleher, and it's Brighton's first corner.
Yeah, it's a good attack from Brighton on the right hand side. Minte does everything right there. It's basically very well defended by Ayer in the first instance. So he laid off for Wefer, and a shot straight at the goalkeeper and out for a corner kick. First shot on target.
Shots on target, and it's going to be Minte, left-footed in-swinger from the right-hand side. 8.5 minutes on the clock. Goalless here at the Amex. Goalless across the other games in the Premier League so far. In fact, only just a one goal in the Championship. That's an early lead for Birmingham City against Norwich City at St Andrews. But now this corner kick for Brighton from the right-hand side. Minte with his arm up, he's ready to swing this one in. Referee's happy now, and Minte puts a lot of pace on that one as well. It's flicked on at the near post. It looked like it was Rutter that got on the end of it, but it goes wide and out for a goal kick.
Yes, really deep run from the back of the far side of the penalty area towards the front post, and whether he tried to get it on goal or it was just trying to flick it into the where the player stood right almost on the goal line to head in that flick from Rutter. Not really a proper chance, but it's the danger sign for Brentford now, because Brighton now, that corner kick, he should defend it. Rutter shouldn't get to it from a defensive point of view.
No, he shouldn't, and I think that from Ruter's point of view, he would have been very happy to have got on the end of that. But now a ball out towards the right-hand side for a Coyote, just being closed down there by Diego Gomez, who's had some goal-scoring form recently. But doing a commentary on a Tuesday night during Carabao Cup action, and I think he scored 4 in a game where Brighton absolutely ran riot. Yeah,
and Barnsley.
And Barnsley. Yeah, Brighton have scored quite a lot of goals in the Carabao Cup. I did their game away to Oxford earlier this season. They scored 6 on that occasion as well. But here come the home side now, trying to get their first against Brentford here as well. Beck wrestling there with Coyote, and in the end, Yarmoliuk comes out to help his teammate, and the ball is played out down the right-hand side. If it gets through to Otara, it would have been a great counter-attacking chance, but it doesn't because of a great challenge from Carlos Baliba. Yeah, it's
again Brighton getting more into the game now, and they've attacked both from the right and the left now, so they need to get Baleba and Ayari more into the game, and then especially Ayari's had a fantastic season for Brighton.
He has, and I like Ayari in actually a more forward role as well. I think he can easily play in a more attacking role, but now here comes Igor Thiago for Brentford. They're finding some space in the Brighton half, although his pass towards Schade is picked off. But Eirik made the point early on in this game that there's an energy level about Brentford. Whether or not they can maintain it for long enough to really upset Brighton is the question, but certainly doing a few of their away games this season. Away to Forest in August was a really poor performance, and around a month ago, 3 weeks ago, away to Palace, that was a really poor performance from Brentford as well. So they need to start showing a little bit more fight on the road. Barring that game away to West Ham, they've not really done anything on the road this season.
Yeah, but again, it's like for the really fortress at home for Brentford, and you say mid-table at the moment. It looks like they're going to steer away from relegation, because a lot of pundits had Brentford as the wild card to possibly go down.
Oh, absolutely.
Without Thomas Frank.
Well, virtually, I can't remember a single pundit saying that it was a good idea for Keith Andrews to get the job. There were a few that said, "Oh, Brentford know what they're doing, and they must have done their research," but nobody actually said this will work. This will be a good idea. So it was a real shot in the dark to give Keith Andrews a job. So far, it seems to have paid off. Although, as I say, it would only take a few wins for sides just below Brentford, and then a few defeats for a side like Brentford, or indeed Brighton, for them to get dragged back into relegation. Let's not forget Brighton and Brentford on the same number of points. But if anything, as you mentioned there, Eirik, as well, it's probably more of a disappointment for Brighton that they're level with Brentford for the ambitions they have. But break off from that, because there was a free kick to Brentford for a handball. They've been taking it quickly now. Otara has gone all the way to the line, but that's really good work there from Ferdi Kadioglu. He is able to win the ball back for Brighton, and now the visitors trying to chase down again as the ball is on the left-hand side.
Yeah, it's a really good attempt there from Otara on the right-hand side, and the energy still is there for Brentford. Brighton much more in the game than the first 4 or 5 minutes, but I think it's a decent game. It's a proper Premier League game. It's not probably the two most skillful teams, but it's two teams that I think, with a good run, possibly could get into the European or fight for the European spots.
No, absolutely, and I think that from Brighton's point of view, their form going into this game, barring that defeat away to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, they had that 4-2 loss away to Manchester United in late October as well. But other than that, they've had a decent run of late, and as we mentioned, there was that 6-0 win away to Barnsley in late September, and that famous win away at Chelsea as well.
Yeah.
So they have had a decent recovery after a bit of a slow start to the season, with a couple of poor performances. That was a defeat away to Everton. I remember commentating on that one. They didn't play well in that game at all.
I watched that game. Awful performance. It was the first game at the new stadium, to be fair, but they didn't turn up to that game. And it's been very hit and miss. The game against Arsenal in the cup was an awful performance, because they played against bunch of youngsters.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As Callum Wilson, by the way, has given the West Ham the lead away at Bournemouth. I mean, the weather here is awful at the Amex. We just had a camera view of Fabian Hertz sat in the stands. You could barely see him because there was so much rain coming down. But now a bit of a mistake here from Brighton. Eirik Baliba just with the loose ball played back towards his own penalty area, and it's gone all the way out for a corner. So with no real Brentford pressure whatsoever, the visitors now have a free corner kick.
Yeah, it's basically it's a gift of a corner kick, and I think Brentford has always been good at set pieces. So as Damsgaard is going to take it in from the left-hand side.
Yeah, it's going to be an in-swinger here from Mikkel Damsgaard. He's got plenty to aim for inside that penalty area. There's a little bit of movement as well here as Collins tries to find himself a better position. Henderson's waiting at the edge of the box. Damsgaard ball is quite a flat one. It's aimed at Vandenberg, who was up, I think, supposed to flick it on. He wasn't able to do that, but it's Minte that brings the ball away. Now he leaves it for Baleba. Baleba then runs straight into trouble, but the loose ball will still be scooped up here by Ariba. He's dispossessed, and now Igor Thiago, he's off towards the edge of the area. He gets body checked. That's going to be a free kick to Brentford. And although Buscagli's trying to suggest he's done nothing wrong, I think the referee... I think it's definitely a foul. I'm not sure that Chris Kavanagh should be booking him.
I was giving the yellow card as I sat when I watched it,
yeah.
but no, I think basically you're too late, and Thiago basically going into a really dangerous position. Looking at that again, it's not great defending from Buscagli. It's not going for the ball.
It's not. I mean, looking at that,
and it's I think if it wasn't given us a yellow card, no drama, but. I think the referee will get away with that one.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, looking at that replay there, you can just see the way Buscagli moves his body. There's no attempt to play the ball, but there's certainly plenty of attempt to try and stop Igor Thiago chasing after it. So the referee, I think, would be able to find enough explanation to justify that one. A free kick then to Brentford. 16 minutes, coming up to 16 minutes gone here at the Amex. It is goalless, but the visitors have made the better start. Albeit not really tested Bart Verbruggen yet, but certainly plenty of work for his defenders early on. And it's the usual suspects for Brentford over this free kick. It's Damsgaard's ball into the box, headed up in the air by Van Hecke. Second ball then nodded clear towards the edge of the box. It's Jan Moluk who gets underneath it, but then a header over towards the right-hand side, and suddenly Brighton can go on the attack here if that ball gets through to Minte, but just about enough covering there. Combination of Henderson and Coyote keep Brentford in possession, and now Henderson playing that one across towards Vandenberg, and Brentford get the ball away from trouble.
Yeah, it's an almost perfect counter-attacking opportunity, but now Brentford go forward.
Look at this, Dango Otara using all of his speed there to get away from Kai Doglu. Tries an early ball into the box, which is well marshalled. Then he tries to just make sure that Kai Doglu can't get onto the second ball, which he can't. And it's out for another corner to Brentford.
Well, it's end-to-end stuff. Brighton almost going one-on-one with the keeper with Minte, and then now it's Otara on the right-hand side. It's a good start of the game, and I like it the way it just it basically took out the player to get the corner kick, and it's a corner kick for Brentford again. Yeah,
another opportunity so far. These set pieces haven't caused too many problems for Brighton. They've got a couple of tall players in their penalty area to be able to try and cope with it. Van Hecke especially, but now it's going to be left-footed in-swinger here from Otara towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's that man again. Van Hecke gets his head to that one, clears it long up towards the halfway line. Coyote is the last man back for Brentford. He plays it towards Yarmolyuk. Yarmolyuk's ball into the box is only headed up in the air by Buscagli, but he does well to get the second head to it though, and eventually Brighton do clear their lines. Coyote then pumps it back towards the edge of the Brighton penalty area, kept alive here by Ayer. Really good work by Ayer. He breaks into the box. Well, decent run this from the Norwegian international. Played back towards Otara. His cross into the box. Once again, it's Van Hecke gets underneath it, and then Rutte gets enough of his body in the way to then draw the foul and win his side a free kick, which is going to act like a bit of a timeout for Brighton.
Yeah, because it's like last couple of minutes, a bit of relentless pressure from Brentford. They haven't actually got any shots on goal yet, but I think the defending from Brighton, they're not 100. It's not 100%. I think it was Van Hecke just headed the ball up in the air twice, and then Brentford won the ball again straight away. So, and Brentford's press now is really high, and I'm quite impressed with Brentford so far. And Brighton, I don't think Herzl would be sitting up at the stand thinking this is a great performance so far.
No, he won't be. But I suppose from his point of view, he'll say Brentford can't maintain this energy level for 90 minutes.
Exactly.
So Brentford have to also use the fact that Brighton are a little bit slow right now to actually try and take the lead, because if they don't, you do expect the home side to come back stronger sooner or later. Nice run there from Van Hecke down the right hand side. He then finds Minte. Minte's ball into the box just a little bit too short there in the end. Couldn't quite keep it alive inside the penalty area. There was Gomez, but he wins it back for Brighton, and he's on the overlap here now with Ayari then. He does something that you'd normally expect to see on a school playground, where he tries to cross it with his right, but just as he got to it, he flicked it with his left, and then he fell over it.
Yeah, I've got to apologise to Ayari because I just started laughing when I saw it. It's a classic. It hits the ball hits his standing foot, and then he basically air kicks it, and he goes to the ground himself. So it's one for the Brentford fans to have a bit of a laugh of. Yeah,
it was right in front of the away end as well. So I'm sure he would have had a few away cheers then as he hit the deck, but and maybe a few other things as well, which obviously we we wouldn't be allowed to broadcast. But the ball now played back. I can say there's only just the one goal in the Premier League so far, and that was Callum Wilson giving West Ham the lead away at Bournemouth 0-0 in all the other games. A few other goals starting to come in. Say Birmingham leading against Norwich by 1-0, and Joe Gelhardt has just given Hull the lead away at QPR. But here come Brighton now with Gomez at the edge of the area. He finds Ayari, and then joining the attack is Welbeck, who goes for goal. Welbeck had stayed a little bit deeper, and he joined on the left-hand side. Right footer shooting from the left. It really encouraged that curling effort, but he gets it wrong.
Yeah, he's leaning it back a bit, but it's they win the ball inside Brentford's half, and it gets that. I think it should hit it first time, and then it controls it, but it's a poor first touch, and it just hesitates too long, and then to get that through the press, there's one player just sliding in front of him, and two players just stood right by him. It's difficult to get it on target.
No, it's very difficult from that perspective. It was always going to be hard, but a bouncing ball in midfield is well dealt with by Dango Atar, but then he back heels it to Jordan Henderson, but he gets dispossessed, and now Ruter is off on the run here for Brighton, but he runs straight into Coyote and actually deflects, who then deflects the ball off Ruter, so it's a throw on to Brentford deep inside their own half. Coming up to 21 minutes gone here at the American Express Community Stadium, where it's still goalless between Brighton and Hove Albion and Brentford. Played back towards goalkeeper Koeman Kelleher, who of course would have been delighted with everything that went on in Hungary a few days ago. Absolute madness. When you think that both Republic of Ireland and Scotland as well had their crazy moments as well towards the end of their games, it just shows you how much emotion there is in the game, and how much the more there's going to be, of course, when those players come round in March.
Of course, yes. So it's that 3-2 win in Hungary is just almost better than the Scotland win, but because it was basically last minute.
Well, just as we say that, Damsgaard suddenly broken through, and Igor Thiago is a mile offside there, but he's going to score the goal anyway, just in case. I mean, I don't think there's any point to even check VAR here. Igor Thiago is clearly offside, but the ball is in the back of the net. They'll check it anyway. And Damsgaard, when he threaded that ball through, I think he looked offside straight away.
Yeah, it was offside. Basically, he had gone on the run earlier in the earlier move, so I wouldn't actually blame him for being offside, because maybe should he stop the run? It's miles offside. So
yeah, I mean,
and the flag comes up straight away. It's not a late flag.
No, absolutely not. It's all correct. The decision is right. Igor Thiago was offside. And as you mentioned, I think if Damsgaard doesn't get a touch, it wouldn't have got through to Igor Thiago anyway. So it's one of those difficult ones where Damsgaard had to get a touch, but also Igor Thiago would have found it very difficult to stop his run from that position. So Brighton now back in possession here with Van Hecke. Down towards the right-hand side, and Minte's pass is blocked off by Damsgaard, and now he tries to play an early ball through towards Igor Thiago, and there might be a free kick against Igor Thiago there for the foul on Boscagli. Even if there wasn't a foul, the ball gets through to Verbruggen anyway.
It does, but it's very lively, Igor Thiago. But it's 8 goals in 11 games so far, and it's almost like a new signing, because he was signed by Brentford, then injured straight away, and just got back late last season.
I think he had 3 appearances off the bench last season. Yeah. That's after he started the beginning of last season, scoring twice in a pre-season game away to AFC Wimbledon, and then that same game he went off with a knee injury and didn't play again for about 9 months. So it was a nightmare start for him. But now it's Brighton trying to fix their nightmare start. It was a long ball played to Welbeck, who couldn't get a shot away. The loose ball then drops to Gomez, and his effort goes a long way over the bar.
Yes, hesitant defending from Brentford. The long ball should have done better instead of just heading it straight back into the danger zone. It's Aya with a poor first touch, and there's been a few of those in both defences so far. Aya just not concentrating, getting the ball on his knee instead of his thigh, and obviously you can't really control the ball on your knee; it will bounce.
No, but that's an interesting stat though, Eric. That Brighton have had 4 efforts on goal to Brentford's 2. Yeah. When you think that we've been saying since the start that Brentford look like the better side, but it's actually Brighton perhaps just being a bit more concrete in terms of trying to get shots away. Yeah,
that shot inside the box went out for a corner kick, so that's 1 shot on target maybe, and Brentford 2 efforts not on the target for Brentford. So Brentford been a better, I think, tactically the better side so far, but it's very even. It's just as the table indicates.
Yeah, absolutely. And whilst we have said that Brentford have made a better start, they made a better start because they're the visitors in this game. If Brighton were to suddenly take the lead now, it wouldn't be like hugely against the run of play, because Brighton have seen a fair amount of the ball in attack, and here they go again now. Ruter starting from a wide position, gets away from Schade, does a bit of link up there with Belieber, he gets it back, and he goes for goal as well. It's a low drive, but it's straight down the middle and into Kelleher.
It's a great play by Ruter. He just is running ahead of the ball, and he just drags his right foot back, just so he managed to take the ball with him and create space for himself. It's a very good shooting opportunity, about 22-23 yards out, straight at the goalkeeper. And Brighton getting more into the game now, and probably at least deserving to be level.
Well, here come Brighton again now down the right-hand side. They're starting to see more of the ball in attack. Minte then plays the ball into space and tries to chase the ball down, but Vandenberg is there first. He clears that ball up towards the halfway line, where Van Hecke has the ball now back for Brighton. Just playing it square here now with Boscagli. Played back towards Olivier Boscagli. And the visitors now just having to accept their role as a slightly more defensive side, as Ayari now he just skips past Henderson, and he gets to the edge of the area. Here's Ayari into the box. He's still going. He's just been forced out wide now as the Swedish midfielder. Just needs a little bit of help here now. He plays that towards the edge of the area. It's Baleba. He doesn't want to hit it first time when he had the chance to, and then a second ball into the box hits Henderson, and then Jordan Henderson clears that one. It will be chased by Damsgaard, although Van Hecke should get there first. But if anything, Brighton just taking too long to pull the trigger there.
Yeah, it's Ayari. It's a great run which flies through a couple of Brentford players in the press just outside the box, almost like it was looking too much for the shot instead of maybe finding a teammate. I know Welbeck was in the middle waiting for a little threaded ball into the box, but it's well defended by Brentford, not making sure there's no room for a shot, even when it actually danced itself inside the box.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to close down as much space as they can, as here come Brighton now. A long ball to nobody in particular. That was Olivier Boscagli with the pass into the box, but it's easily saved here by Kelleher. And he's just waiting now to restart play. But the visitors, after that really good start, just struggling to see any of the ball in attack anymore. And Kelleher now trying a long ball up towards the right-hand side. Is kept in play, then flicked on towards Igor Thiago there, into the box, and the referee points to the spot. It's Carlos Baleba sliding in. He's saying, I can't believe it, ref, what are you talking about? But to me, the pace of Dango Otara there just does too much, and Brentford have a penalty.
It's a ridiculous challenge, because that ball's going out for a goal kick if it's not tackled, so he has to pull out. When it doesn't, it's a clear foul. I think Otara just get a touch on the ball, and then it's a classic. It's almost like we go around the goalkeeper and then the goalkeeper gets you. So
yeah,
fantastic.
I like to say the old Lineker move, because he was a genius of that, just poking the ball past the keeper, then running into him and expecting a penalty and always getting it. But here it's Igor Thiago with the back heel, and as Dango Otara breaks into the box, as you say, I mean, there's not much contact actually. Looking at it live, it seemed a lot worse, but to me, I'd be surprised if VAR reverses this, because there is contact.
No, they won't reverse this, because it's a clear foul. It slides in front of Otara. Otara's got no chance of getting onto the ball.
I love how footballers always try their luck. You just see Henderson there saying something to the ref, and the ref goes no, and he pointed to two other players. So that tells me that Henderson was probably asking for a red card as well, which it never was.
No, it wasn't even a yellow card.
No, I don't think so. It's just there can be such a thing as a foul for a penalty that doesn't have any card. It can just be something. As Igor Thiago kisses the ball before he puts it on the spot. He's been in really good goal scoring form for Brentford since the start of this season, and this is a good time for Brentford, because the last 7 or 8 minutes have been much better for Brighton. So this, if anything, this goal is going to, if they could score this penalty, it's going to be against the run of play. But Igor Thiago is ready. As we can see, he's taken 6 penalties for Brentford this season and scored 5 of them. He steps up, and Bruggen goes left, Igor Thiago goes right, and on 29 minutes, Brentford lead by 1-0. Well,
he deserves that goal, Thiago, for the hold-up play, and then the back heel into Otara. A fantastic back heel. And just when Brighton were getting into the game, and then on the counter, getting this chance, and now Brentford have the lead, and will we see another an away win for a rare away win from Brentford?
Yeah, they've only had the one so far away to West Ham, but it's a confident penalty from Igor Thiago. Just checks his run just at the moment when he sees Verbruggen going one way, he has enough time to go the other. And so far this afternoon, the only goals have come for teams away from home on the south coast, with Bournemouth losing to West Ham and Brighton losing to Brentford. So London teams enjoying the south coast this afternoon.
They certainly are, and West Ham, obviously, when you can't even count when Brentford beat West Ham. Everyone beat West Ham at a time.
Yes,
now they've got their act together, West Ham United, and arguably probably won't be the relegation side in the end.
Eirik, just looking at Carlos Baleba there, he was sort of like hiding, wiping his face with his shirt, sort of frustrated about what's just happened. Do you think he's one of these players that probably thinks he was maybe 1 or 2 days of negotiation away from being somewhere else, and now he's trying to sort of find his feet at Brighton again?
Well, it was linked everywhere, Baleba, and
it was Man United, I think. Was
Man United, and obviously every Brighton. He hasn't actually had such a good season this season. It was phenomenal last season for Brighton, and he just want to hide away because it's a ridiculous challenge. He's going. It could have been a shot from Ouattara, but that would have been a tight angle because he was travelling with speed. He had a touch on the ball. I think it would have been a pullback rather than a shot for if he had gone there.
I also think that the form he was in last season, I don't think Baleba makes that challenge last season.
No, it's too late. It's poorly defended. It's a gift of a penalty away, but now Brighton come forward.
Yeah, well, they've got to respond quickly here, and they try to straight away. A decent run that from Ruter before a shot comes in from the right-hand side. Left-footed curling effort there from Yakuba Minte, but it goes wide of the target. I think he was hoping for a deflection, hoping for some kind of ricochet, but it's not going to happen. It's out for a goal kick to Brentford with just under 15 minutes to go. Very low-scoring game in the Premier League so far. As I say, still goalless between Fulham and Sunderland, between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest, and between Wolves and Palace. It's a nice turn there from Sharda. He gets away from Wefer far too easily. He cuts into the middle now, does Sharda, but his pass towards Ouattara is awful. It's about 5 yards away from where it needed to be, although Brentford still recycle it here with Coyote and Henderson down the right-hand side. Coyote goes on the overlap. He puts a cross in, which is charged down, and it's out for a corner kick. It's Gomez with the block, but Brentford all over Brighton.
Yeah, it's great energy from Brentford after that goal now, and it was Kadioglu with a terrible clearance after Brentford gave it away, but when they win the ball straight away, and then corner kick now. Yeah, Brentford, I'm quite impressed by Brentford. The energy they have is very good, and basically they can't play like that all the time, so it will be patches of play like that.
Look at that sky above the stadium. It's not even grey sky, it's black sky. There's really heavy rain over the Amex right now as the corner kick comes in for the 4th time in a row. It's Van Hecker, but then a follow-up effort from Yarmolia come in. We saw a strike from him earlier in the half which went miles wide. This one's not too far away, but it's still over the bar, out for a goal kick. But we have a goal at Anfield, Eirik.
Yes, as Murillo have scored for Forest away at Liverpool, and Liverpool season's going from bad to worse now.
Well, it's worth remembering that last year when Liverpool beat everyone at home, Forest did win there. I think it was Hudson-Odoi scored for a 1-0 win.
Yes, early in the season.
Yes, that's right. It's one of the very few games where they dropped points at home, Liverpool, last season, in that amazing start that Arne Slot had. So I was speaking to one of our colleagues who's commentating that game, and I said to him, I can't believe it will happen again this year, but looks like there's a chance it might be now with Liverpool goal down with just 12 minutes to go there in the first half. A strong challenge there on, I think that was Damsgaard who gets the brunt of that, and Wefer just getting a quick telling off there from the referee. Just looking at the two benches, Eirik, looking at Brighton, they've got Coppola, Dick Kuiper, Dunk, Gruder, Hinchelwood, Kustelas, who's a striker, Tsimas, as well as Veltman, and a goalkeeper Steele. So there are options there for Brighton. It's just, I suppose, so we could just about see Fabian Hurtzler there.
Yeah, but Hinchelwood obviously is great talent. If he can, he's just come back from injury. I'm surprised Lewis Dunk is not starting for Brighton.
He's fallen out of favour a little bit this season,
and it's been. Very often they put on De Kuiper, as in he's sort of he can play everywhere. He sometimes in an attacking position.
He normally plays instead of Kaidoglu actually on the left. I'm just wondering whether or not they brought Kaidoglu, maybe because he's a little bit quicker. Maybe he can cope better with Dango Ouattara. It's hard to know what the thinking is there. But I'll get your thoughts on that in just a second, because Brighton have won the ball back and they've got a chance to get forward down the right here with Wefer. He just checks his run though and goes back to Baleba. Tsimas is a player that I've seen a couple of times in the Cup for Brighton this season. He looks good, but they haven't really given him much of a chance in the Premier League so far.
But both Kostoulis and Tsimas, they're basically high-profile signings, but a lot of money they paid for them. They haven't really hit the ball running. I'm not sure that's a plan for them to hit the ball running straight away. But yeah, so going forward, I think Druda he's come back from injury lately, so he's the one maybe going forward. I know he scored against Man City. That's his only goal this season. But there's not that much going forward for Brighton as a striker. Let's say so something happens to Welbeck. There isn't a like for like.
No, there isn't. You're absolutely right. And just as we say that, there's a second goal for West Ham away to Bournemouth. They're now 2-0 up at the Vitality. We're also hearing word of a second goal for Forest away at Liverpool. We'll confirm that if that's the case. That was certainly an indication on one of our screens, but I think that chance has now been and gone. But confirmation it is 2-0 to West Ham at the Vitality. So that's a big win for Nuno Espirito Santo's side if they could hold on to that one.
Yeah, against Bournemouth. It's been my...
and look at that, it's the second time this afternoon that a former Bournemouth man scored.
Exactly, Callum Wilson again. Obviously, I think he went by Newcastle, didn't he?
But he had a good few years at Bournemouth.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he was very good for Bournemouth. That's why he got his move to Newcastle. And so he still knows where the goal is. And it looks like the VAR decision about that goal in Liverpool.
But this is the question. I think this is for a second goal.
For the second goal,
So Liverpool are 1-0 down at home to Forest. That is a fact. But now Igor Jesus has made it 2-0 to Forest in that game. But there's a VAR review for a potential handball, so that it looks like that goal might be disallowed now. In fact, it's under review still, so we'll just break off from that because in the meantime, Brighton have got further forward, and Dango Otara is going to be the first player from Brentford to get a yellow card this afternoon, as he was just trying to stop the run and got nowhere near the ball.
Oh, nowhere near the ball. It's a clumsy challenge by Otara. I think he loses his balance and goes straight at the back of Ruter twice.
I was going to say, he had two little bites of Ruter there. The first one, you could argue they just collided because they were both going for the ball. The second one, he knows exactly what he's doing there.
It looks like it just hits it almost on purpose.
So confirmation then, it's not 2-0 to Nottingham Forest. There's a handball decision in the game at Anfield. I'd love to see hopefully we'll get a chance to see a replay of that at half time, because I'm sure that Sean Dyche will already have his own thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's frustrating because it's one of those, but it just hits your hand. Even if it just brushes you, they have to.
You can have an accidental handball as a defender, but you can't do it really as an attacker. If the ball hits your hand, then the goal is likely to be disallowed.
You need to pass it to someone.
Yes.
Before they
can allow it. Yeah, absolutely. But we'll see what happens with this free kick. There's a right footer Welbeck and a left footer Buscagli standing over this one for Brighton, and it's right at the edge there. It's perfect shooting opportunity, really. You can see Dango Otara has laid down as the man behind the wall just to stop any low shots. We'll see what Welbeck wants to do with this. He goes over the wall and also over the bar and out for a goal kick.
It's terrible effort by Welbeck. It just gets his foot underneath the ball and it just it loops over the bar. I think it would have been an easy save anyway if it's on the target with that speed. It's in the where the keeper expected to go. So yeah, it's poor. He goes in the keeper corner, so it's it needs to be an even better shot and more pace for it to go in.
Yeah, to have half a chance, it needed to have more on it, that's for sure. But a goal kick now for Brentford with 8 minutes to go before we hit half time. Well, if hit injury time, there should be a couple of minutes of that here at the Amex. The ball now missed completely there by Vandenberg, and this is a gift of possession now for Brighton as Minte plays it into Welbeck. Welbeck skips away from one challenge, but then he can't skip away from the other, but he wins the ball back there as Henderson hits the deck. Brentford are claiming that he was hit by Welbeck as he was trying to go for the ball. The referee didn't see that at all. Brighton carry on their run into the box. It's a ball in from Buscagli, which is charged down, and now Igor Thiago trying to get the ball away for Brentford, but he's got three Brighton players around him. Does really well though, a combination of him and Yarmoliuk to get that ball away. Then it's cleared a long way into the Brighton half. Verbruggen does really well though, just to cushion a pass out, but then I'm not quite sure what that pass was there from Buscagli, because he virtually teed it up there for Kevin Schade, and eventually a combination of a couple of last-ditch challenges and Brighton just about get the ball under control. I'll get Erik's thoughts on that in a second, because here come Brighton now on the attack with Minte runs straight into Aya then tries to win the ball back for Brentford, but Ruter then takes over. He goes towards the box before his run is stopped by Vandenberg, and it's out for a throw to Brighton.
It's basically a really scrappy part of the game. The last couple of minutes, it's just almost like there's a loose ball and it's like two players really going for it. When Brentford went forward, I think Buscagli just headed the ball back into Brentford's Thiago, and didn't do enough with it, but it was effectively a 2 against 2 if they've done better with that chance. And now Brighton going forward like for full power, so it's full belt for both teams at the moment, and lots of interesting situations and sort of challenges. I think looking at Henderson was stepped
on. Yeah, I mean there was certainly no intent from Welbeck whatsoever.
No intent.
And but yeah, these days with how sharp and pronounced the football studs are on the boots and how wafer thin the boots are themselves. I mean they probably weigh less than what socks did in my younger days, but they're very. Let's say if someone treads on that, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it.
Yeah. And one thing that's definitely weighs less than when I played is the shin pads.
Oh, goodness me. Honestly, you're right to bring that point up. I was doing commentary of the game before the international break, Brentford against Newcastle, and when Joe Linton got injured, I thought that was like just a small part of his shin pad, not the whole thing. But Brentford give the ball away from their own throw-on, and it's a run into the box here from the right-hand side. It is Welbeck into the penalty area. He then left the ball for Ruter. Ruter's cross from the right-hand side is straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Yeah,
it's like an in-between, either a shot or a cross straight to the goalkeeper. But Gomez was waiting in the middle there, and if it just squared it slightly more, it could have been a free header for Diego Gomez. I've hardly seen him in the game whatsoever. And now they give the ball away again, Brighton and their own half. They're all over the place defensively at the moment.
They are. They really are. There's absolutely no cohesion from Brighton, although in fairness, they do win the ball back, and they are back in possession now here with Boscagli. Square to Van Hecker. Up to 41 minutes gone. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary as Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Brentford 1. But here come the home side now with Vafer into the box, trying to find Mintze. But a combination of Aya and Sharda are able to get Brentford back into possession. Sharda's ball then takes a flick off the returning Ayari, but there's still a chance to get that ball out down the left-hand side. It won't reach either Sharda or Damskar, but the referee was giving a momentary advantage there, but decided there was a foul on Igor Thiago.
And it is a foul on Thiago. It's really good to get in front of the defender, to flick the ball on. It's such a strong player, Igor Thiago. And he flicks the ball on, and then the player just goes straight in his back, and he's down injured at the moment. It is quite a fierce challenge there, looking at that again. It's Boscagli again. He hasn't had his best game, I think. The Frenchman at the back.
That's right, French with the Italian-sounding surname.
Yeah, that's what it's Boscagli.
Yeah.
Boscagli. Yeah, it's. Well, I speak a bit of Italian, so when I see an Italian name, obviously it could be from the border regions.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, say you see that we've seen. Players playing for Spain and for France that sound like they could be playing for one or the other. Of course, the regions have crossed over for centuries, but it's a bit of a delay here now at the Amex, because it looks like the way Igor Thiago's fallen, they just got one of the physios just got his hands on the back of his head. They're just checking to see if he's able to move his head fully, and thankfully now the Brentford's big number 9 is back on his feet, as we can see. Keith Andrews there, setting the trend. Managers previously were always wearing Stone Island or Boss. He's now gone to Sandbanks. That's the latest fashion brand if you've got £2,000 spare for a coat. But in the meantime,
it probably has.
He probably does. Yeah, I'm saying. But whether or not ourselves and our listeners do, that's a different matter. But certainly Keith Andrews there, just trying to get a few messages out to his players, because Thiago's slowly getting back up to his feet, but it's taking a while.
It's taking a while, yeah, and I think it might have been, I'm not sure if it's head injury, if his neck, he was I think it's elbow or the knee and the elbow from Boscagli. So he's
got a cut on his head. They're actually doing some running repairs on the big man now, getting some of those instant dissolvable stitches and some Vaseline, pretty much from the boxers' locker room there. But him and Mintze now quick high five, and he's okay to play on.
Well, it's quite funny that while he got treatment, he was just smiling.
He's always smiling.
Yeah,
he misses open goals. He gets taken off, and he's always smiling. He's just a very, very happy man, Igor Thiago.
Well, I would be after 9 goals in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Which is
in fact, I can go even better than that. A friend of mine sent me a link to a story last season when he was injured with his knee. He was spotted in his local Tesco's on one of those mobility scooters doing his shopping. A Brentford fan asked for a picture, and even then he had a smile on his face when he was on one of those scooters. So he's just a very happy man in general, as Igor Thiago, and obviously he's very happy now, especially because he came to England and spent the first year injured. But now he's back in the team and he's doing well. His side are on the attack with Dango Ouattara down the right-hand side, playing that ball into Henderson. And then he tries to win that ball back. A little bit too much off Ferdi Kaidoglu out for it'd be a throw to Brighton only, but it might even be a free kick here. For that foul. It's been taken quickly back to Van Hecke. Eirik, what do Brighton need to do in the second half? Because they've had enough of the ball. They've actually had enough shots, but it's just not been anywhere near good enough.
Yeah, basically they're not. They had enough shots, but they haven't had a clear shot. They need to play the ball much quicker going forward. When they go in towards the area, Brentford they attack almost zonal in, so there always players back. So Ayari went dangling run into the box, wanted a shot, no chance to get a shot. They go into the box again, and it's just shielded into the goalkeeper. So I think they need to get the wing play. Sorted, maybe Minter and Gomez especially Gomez into the game.
We were looking at their bench, but then we had a moment of play we didn't get a chance to go back to. But maybe somebody like Brian Gruder, he could certainly spice things up in attack for Brighton.
Gruder, but a lot of those players actually come back from injury, so they've been injured. So Kostulas and Simas. They'll be fine, but they need to get the ball in the first place. As Ruta now does really well, just skips past two Brentford players. He breaks into the penalty area and he rides another challenge before eventually Henderson is back to deflect that ball. He thinks he's deflected that ball off Ruta and out for a goal kick. Referee Chris Kavanagh begs to differ. It will be a corner kick to Brighton as we go into 4 minutes of added time. Yeah, it's again they get into the area. Ruta does really well to actually keep the ball, but he's surrounded by 3-4 Brentford players. And quite lucky to get a corner kick, I think.
Yes, it will be a corner kick here to Brighton from the left-hand side. A real wrestling match there between Welbeck and Henderson. The ball comes in inside the 6-yard box. Everybody's lost it for a second before suddenly Kelleher just falls on it by his line. It's certainly, I would say, if I had to think of one negative point to make about Koeman Kelleher, it's the way he reacts on crosses. He's not the most confident keeper. He's an excellent shot stopper. He's decent with his feet, but he just doesn't have that command of his 6-yard box yet. It's something that he can learn, but he needs to learn it.
Yeah, it was just ball watching, and eventually the ball just dropped down for Coyote, who managed to just shield the ball into him, but that's inside the 6-yard box.
Good work here though from Igor Thiago, who just rides one challenge, but then the pass to Ouattara is underhit. And Brighton have it back. We've still got around 2.5 minutes of added time as Brighton want to go on the attack. Quick ball to it was Mintze who tried to lay it off for Welbeck, but Henderson now has it back for Brentford. Plays it to Ouattara. He plays it back into the middle now for Coyote. Coyote square to Yarmoliuk. Back towards Nathan Collins. Just to remind you in terms of the next fixtures for these two sides, Brighton are at home to Nottingham Forest next Sunday. Sorry, I beg your pardon, Brighton are away to Nottingham Forest next Sunday. And as far as Brentford are concerned, their next game will be at home. And it's at home to Burnley next Saturday for a trip to Arsenal and then a trip to Spurs. So thank you. The Brentford fans will be thinking thank you to the fixture computer for that one.
Well, at least it's short travel if you live locally to Brentford. I think Brentford, a club where the most fans probably do live locally. They haven't turned into a tourist club as per yet.
Not too much, as I say, but every team in the Premier League will have its fans all over the world. Brentford have got a Danish club, obviously with the big connection that the club have had with Denmark over the years. There's a New York arm of the Brentford supporters club, and actually going back a long time, Brentford's chairman from the 80s, Dan Tanner, who passed away a few months ago, he actually opened a sports bar in the middle of LA. So loads of celebrities over the years have taken an interest in Brentford, even before they became a big side in the Premier League. But now a free kick to Brighton, a long way out from goal, is floated towards the edge of the area. It's not the best free kick. It wasn't the best defending of it either, but Shard is able to bring it away. But then the pass to Ouattara. Shard is a frustrating player for me because he can be excellent, but he's one of these players, and you see that at every club, that when he's bad, he's just very, very bad. Yeah, he's just completely off the page.
That was a sloppy pass going forward because he had full control of the ball, and it effectively gifts a throw in now to Brighton, just 10 yards from the corner flag. He also, when he went forward early in the game, it just ran into traffic and gave the ball away. But he is such a exciting player when on form.
He is, yeah, he's very, very fast. We've got about just under 30 seconds of added time. It's a throw on to Brighton. It's a long throw into the box. Wouldn't this be ironic if they did manage to do Brentford with a long throw themselves? But it's cleared to the edge of the area before Baliba goes for goal. And I'm not exaggerating when I say, I mean, that must be at least 10 yards over the bar, maybe even higher than that.
It's 10 yards over the bar. It just the ball falls. It controls the ball on his chest, and before he hits the ground, he hits it on the wall. But again, that's what Brighton need to do better. They make the wrong decisions going forward. That's for me a wrong decision to have a shot there, because he can control it, and you got the momentum, you got the players up, and the half-time
it is. Kelleher doesn't have time to take that goal kick. It is Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Brentford 1. Igor Thiago with the penalty for the Bees. Myself and Eirik will be back for you in 15 minutes.